Reserve Bank Governor Philip Lowe has defended the central bank's actions during the pandemic, telling a parliamentary committee it was a scary time. Joining us now is business reporter Ed Boyd. Ed, Governor Lowe has just given his opening statement and he says banks' messaging around interest rates was misinterpreted by the Australian people.
Yeah, remember reading all those statements from the Reserve Bank Governor throughout 2020 and 2021, and 2021 in particular was when the bank kept using the line towards the end of the statement suggesting interest rates will not be rising until 2024 at the earliest. So a lot of Australians did read those statements and basically took it almost as a promise or a strong suggestion that the cash rate would not be rising, when in fact it actually has lifted very sharply this year. We've had 5 rate rises this year. So the Governor, Phil Lowe, he gave his opening statement a short time ago, and this is just a little bit from that statement talking about how the Australian public kind of misinterpreted what he was trying to say and trying to get across to the people.
Previously, the RBA had forecast that the damaging effects of the pandemic on our economy would be long-lasting, and as a result, inflation would stay low. And on that basis, we had expected that interest rates would remain low for some years. I'm frequently reminded that many people interpreted our previous communication as a promise or as a commitment that interest rates would not increase until 2024. This was despite our statements on interest rates always being conditional on the state of the economy, and this conditionality often got lost in the messaging. So we're currently working through the implications of this for our future approach to forward guidance and for communication more generally.
And look, Governor Lowe has been speaking again before the parliamentary committee this morning, and he now says they're very unlikely would ever provide guidance like that again, and in the future the bank seems to be more likely to be a lot more vague with its language from now on. So they're very unlikely to provide any dates for potentially when rates may go up in the future. So that's going to be a big change of language and communication from the Reserve Bank, Pete.
Yeah, right, OK. Well, he's certainly under pressure. He's now taking questions from this committee. So far, it's all been about the global economic outlook. How's he answered those questions?
Look, he's a little bit nervous about the global economic outlook at the moment, Laura. He talked about Europe, where you are right now, and how there are really high gas prices and energy prices over there, which are pushing up inflation. And we saw the UK inflation at almost 10%. Those figures came out a couple of days ago. Then he talked about the issues in America with really high inflation in the United States and high wages growth as well. The other big issue is China with its COVID zero strategy. It's also had some serious problems with its housing and property market in China with the collapse of some major property developers. And there is apparently a drought in China as well, which is hurting its agriculture sector. So these, he says, are the 3 major challenges facing the world's economy over the next 12 months. This is just a short snippet from Phil Lowe.
Put all that together and the outlook for the global economy next year is quite weak. And if it were to weaken further from our current forecast, it'll be difficult for us to navigate this narrow path of getting inflation down while having our economy continue to grow reasonably well.
So Governor Lowe's going to keep appearing for the next 2 hours, and I'll be monitoring it all very closely.